Hi, I'm Alan Breznick from Light Reading. I'm speaking to Koji Okamoto from Viavi. Hi, Koji.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. So, Koji, we're hearing a lot about Remote-PHY at the show.
Yes.
There was a whole seminar about it yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of buzz. What does you think it means to operators, and how fast do you think it's actually going to get rolled out?
Yeah, I think continue to be one of the hottest topics, from the last, I'll say 18 months or so. And I think the Remote-PHY is more than ever, I think, is real. So next year we're going to start seeing much more deployments. I'm talking to several customers, and I see the real deployment schedule and so on. One of the biggest challenges I think they have is how do you manage the transition?
Right.
Each operator has different pace and different needs, and we talked about in the past about like Remote-PHY being, is that just physical layer only, or is that the MAC included or not? I think all those preferences and architectures based upon what they have in the back-end systems and their architecture. So there are a couple of different needs that they're going to continue to have in order for them to migrate over. So one of the big challenges with the migration is how do you manage the operations and the field technician who may not know anything about the architectural topology.
Right, because you have to keep providing service while you're upgrading to Remote-PHY.
That's right. And sometimes the operator could be only 10% on network. On this city, it could be changing to Remote-PHY. Sometimes it could be the other city.
Right.
So they need a tool that makes it a little bit more architecture agnostic, so that the field technicians and operation team don't have to worry about what the pace is, what's changing, and be really transparent to them to manage their network. So that's I think, going to be the key trend and what it means to the operator. And we have been very fortunate to be kind of front end of this Remote-PHY for the last, I'll say, 2 years or maybe even more.
Right.
So a lot of these tools are built into the Remote-PHY, which is managed by our new assurance and troubleshooting system called ExpertTrack. And we are showcasing that into many shows, including this expo.
Do you expect it to be done on a phased approach, or do you think it's going to be like mass deployed right away?
I think it's going to be phased for a while. I mean, we've seen some customers talking about in 5 years, maybe 50% or 30% of the network could be Remote-PHY. But between that time, you can also see, full duplex too. So there's many technology transition always happening.
Right.
So, and Cable has done a very good job of managing the gradual transition, so you don't disrupt the business or create a huge CapEx problem. So I think they're going to go really targeted approach for where they need the capacity, where they don't have the rack spaces, where they don't need to save power, and all those needs. And they look at both architecture of the traditional node split, as well as Remote-PHY, and they've done a good job of managing those transitions. So I think we're going to see the gradual transition like we've seen in the past.
It's going to be interesting to see how they roll out Remote-PHY and full duplex at almost the same time, on the heels of rolling out DOCSIS 3.1 at almost the same time.
Yeah, I think a full duplex maybe is still a little bit out, I'll say, from practical sense, from both cost and technology maturity.
Right.
I think right now that the operator is just looking at if I deploy the Remote-PHY, how do I even set up the amplifier? How do I even troubleshoot noise? Because it has to be virtualized and it has to be transparent to technicians. So technology is now built into many of those OEMs or the Remote-PHY and managed by the systems, which also interact with the instruments that help troubleshoot the problems.
Koji, subscribers keep raising the bar in terms of the quality of experience that they're looking for and the amount of bandwidth they want. What does that mean for operators, and what can they do about it?
Yeah, so competition is very high from cable, competing against telcos, FTTHs, and consumers are changing in several areas. Now I can categorize into, I think, 3. One is everybody should continue to watch and consume a lot of videos. Like, we all travel, go to Wi-Fi or, in a home and start streaming all the YouTube videos, or you watch 1080p or sometimes 2K, 4K TVs on the screen. So when the download speed goes up, actually ratio-wise, your upstream has to go up as well. Because what happens is it's all TCP/IP, so you have to send acknowledgement that I'm receiving the packets in order for more packets to come. So this whole video stream requires more upstream capacity and bandwidth. So that's one kind of trend we're seeing. Another trend we're seeing is IoTs. So there are a lot of Internet of Things and sensors and different devices that start getting proliferated around the house. And what that means is there's also more traffic going up. And sometimes,
which is a new thing.
Yeah, which is a new thing. It doesn't mean you need a lot more capacity. It could be the very reliable connection that you need. So if you, let's say you have a very big noise, some of the IoT may stop working, because a lot of times it's a kind of cloud-based services and computation. So that's trend number 2. Trend number 3 is all the young folks, millennials, consume the content a little bit differently. So if you look at the YouTube videos and so on, in the traditional way, all the production of the video was kind of like an NBC, ABC, Disney of the world, from the big players, and the consumer consuming those content. Now, more than ever, the biggest content creators are the people.
Right.
We're shooting the video and you're uploading the video to YouTube.
Right.
So we see the stats of how many video get uploaded. So what this all means is it's really important for the operator to increase the capacity, not only for the downstream, but for the upstream.
Right.
Right. And also on top of this, you have to be able to know what the quality of experience is while you're expanding this capacity, because operators are very stringent on their OpEx and number of people. You can't add a ton of people to troubleshoot these things, right? So you need to remotely see what the customer experiences are, at. So if you're at your house, Alan, and you have a few folks watching things, they need to know what the customer experience look like remotely, so they can decide, oh, is that something I should fix proactively, or prioritize that one that's really affecting the customer service. So we believe the most important thing for the operator, one, is to fix the problem that matters the most. Okay, so you need to have the visibility for that. And our solution, Expert Track, really start from the customer experience side, and then go down into the root cause of why that's causing it. And traditionally, NEMs, which is vendors, are making some of the diagnostic mode. Test tools are just about, hey, here's a noise.
Right.
How do you know if the noise is affecting the customer service?
Right.
So we really connected those two most important information into one. And also when we talk about the upstream capacity and the reliability, the quality, what we need to make sure the operator have is the tools to really fix those problems quickly. So with the latest acquisition with Trilithic, we added the leakage component to our portfolio, and that has been one of the big asks from many operators, not because of SEC compliance for aeronautical ban, that's because of the leakage is a very effective way to find the problem.
Right.
And including the ban from like LTE. So we found out the correlation between the problem in the low end frequency and high end frequency don't correlate that much.
Right.
So you need to look at both, because all these now interferences coming in or going out at the LTE band as well as the low end frequencies. And now Trilithic is very much leading, I think, in position in terms of the home testing, which continue to be the primary source for the ingress and noise.
Right.
And we have a great solution for that to help operator to really make the reliable home networking, as well as systematic approach to find where the leaks are and mapping into the overall solution, so you can tell not only the PNM upstream, downstream, but also leakage data in the map. And you can dispatch a technician directly to his location with the best antenna and the find and fix tools.
Right. So signal leakage was an important piece of the puzzle there.
Yes, I think it's becoming much more than in the past. And because if you think about it, fibers continue getting deeper and deeper, right? But home environment is not changing.
Right.
And it's proportionally, that portion of noise contribute more to the reliability and performance of the networks. It's very important for the operator to really clamp down the home and make sure that's clean. We've seen some operator who has done very well in those areas, has the best network in reliability in the industry. All right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Sure.